What is rider sag, and why is rider sag an important aspect of setup? I'll tell you. When you have a set of springs supporting you as the rider, it's your foundation. This is what allows the machine to operate correctly. When we are looking at two different springs that look very, very similar, and yet there's a slight size difference between them, we're comparing not only the mean coil diameter, which is going to support the rider itself through what kinetic energy that spring will store based on the forces fed into it, which is dependent on your weight as a rider. Now, just throwing them onto the bike doesn't give you the support structure you're looking for. You also have to do something called preloading the spring correctly. Now, a preloaded spring is going to give you something called static sag, which does not have you as the rider, and then you're going to have rider sag. The most important of these figures is your rider sag. When this is set correctly, the motorcycle is going to respond to those inputs much better. Soft springs create a seesaw effect where the bike likes to yaw on the chassis substantially. Overly diving to the front causes the motorcycle to not want to turn. It starts to feel heavy. Too stiff of a spring and the front end doesn't want to load, and motorcycles want to turn once they're moved into the stroke. Conversely, when you come off of your brakes and you go to the gas, what ends up happening there with a soft spring is the bike wants to load rearward and you lose exit drive and grip. When it's too stiff, the tire wants to step. The tire doesn't want to load correctly on there because the chassis itself is staying too flat. So the leverage ratio that's intended for the rear end and the fork dive intended for the front allow the machine to tip in, to turn, to get direction, and then to accelerate. If you have questions or you think that your machine is not handling correctly, shoot us a message and let's see how we can help.